This soda brand did $400 million in sales last year, and they're valued at $1.8 billion. It's one of the fastest growing brands in the US right now, and it didn't get there by accident. They built a marketing machine that's quietly beating all the industry giants. In this video, I'm gonna pull back the curtain on their entire marketing funnel from top to bottom, and I'm not gonna hold anything back. I'll break down every strategy they made to get here. These are the exact same strategies, by the way, that we've used across 150 plus e-commerce brands and have generated $100 million of sales in the process. So don't skip ahead, because this might be the most valuable email marketing video that you'll ever watch on YouTube. In 2018, Ben Goodwin and co-founder David Lester set out to do something that the beverage industry had largely ignored: create a soda that was actually good for you. Olipop was their answer, a prebiotic drink designed to give consumers a real alternative to the sugar-laden sodas that dominate store shelves. Their early numbers were promising. In their first year, the company had pulled $852,000 in gross revenue. Fast forward to 2026, and Olipop is valued at $1.85 billion. All right, so this is Olipop's meta ads library, and as you can see, they have 35 active ads that are running. And if you guys are running ads for your own brand right now, you guys have probably heard of the Andromeda update, where the algorithm actually prefers lots of different creatives and even lots of different diverse style of creatives as well. And as you can see right now, Olipop has a lot of great looking creatives and a lot of videos and images. In the past, you could, get away with just running the same image ads over and over and over again. But this day and age, especially with all the updates that are happening with the algorithm, you need a lot of diverse creatives. So basically launching new creatives every single week, and that ultimately is going to help drive your CPMs down and your cost per acquisition down. So if you actually take a closer look at their ads, what you'll see is that a lot of the ads that they're running are more educational based as well. In fact, one of the biggest angles that they play on is, did you know that 90% of Americans don't get enough fiber in their diet? So a lot of their ads are actually focused around that, and I'll actually pull it up so you can see what this looks like.
There are 9 grams of fiber in one Olipop, which equals 37 florets of broccoli. Ahem. Thanks, large amount of highly informative broccoli. Olipop, a new kind of soda.
So yeah, as you can see in this specific ad, it says that there's 9 grams of fiber in 1 can of Olipop, which is equal to the same amount of fiber as 37 florets of broccoli. And so they're basically providing the data that 90% of Americans don't get enough fiber in their diet, and they're showing a real example of how much fiber you actually need. And so with the 90% of Americans that don't get enough fiber in their diet, they're basically creating a problem before presenting a solution, and then providing some very, very surprising data on top of that. Olipop sends everyone that clicks on their ads to a single landing page. In one of my previous videos, I actually broke down Grunz's funnel, where I showed you how they actually send traffic to multiple different landing pages according to what specific topic of ad that you clicked. So if an ad focuses on weight loss, then the entire landing page would just be focused on that theme. Olipop decided to take a different approach. One landing page for everyone, regardless of what ad they came from. And so as you can see on my screen here, this is the landing pake that they're sending people to. So the drinkolipop.com. As the first thing that you see a very, very colorful hero image that says 25% off site-wide. The thing is with Olipop is that they have very, very powerful, colorful branding and colors that really just catches the eye. And then they have really good copy here that is on brand that says the feel good soda sale. Get your fridge ready for the start of summer with 25% off all 12 packs. The perfect excuse to stock up on all your favorite feel-good flavors. And again, a CTA that's nice and big and clear, and that's stands out because it's yellow against this pink background. And then underneath this, it says shop our collection. So they're basically showcasing all the different selections that they have, because they understand that their products isn't just a one-size-fits-all type of solution. There might be some people that might need more fiber than others. There's also some different flavors that they're offering. So they have a 9 grams of fiber, 6 grams of fiber, limited edition, and then variety packs as well. So that way you can shop according to what your desires are in terms of the soda. And then they go into a little bit of education into why choose Olipop, right? Olipop is grounded in science and crafted with their OliSmart blend of prebiotic fibers and botanicals. Pair that with the craveable flavor and 2 to 5 grams of total sugar, and you never have to choose between feeling good and great taste. Find your flavor. Again, they showcase all the most popular flavors that they offer, like the classic root beer, strawberry vanilla, crisp apple, classic grape, and cream soda. By the way, I've actually tried some of these flavors before, and they're actually really, really good. And so that kind of falls into why this product is so popular, because not only is it providing really good health benefits, but it also tastes good. So similar to what I said in the Grunz video, people are making a habit out of taking this on a daily basis. And then if you scroll down, you can see some of the sources that they've been part of, like Bloomberg, PureWow, Forbes, BuzzFeed. So basically that kind of helps to build trust and lets consumers and potential consumers know that there's a lot of credible companies that actually back Olipop as well. If you scroll down, you'll see shop by fiber line. So there's the 9 gram of fiber line again, and then the 6 grams of fiber line again. Again, there might be some people that might prefer a little bit less fiber than the 9 grams. And so it's good to kind of cater to both. And then again, made with real ingredients. So if anyone is on the fence about Olipop not being made with like real legitimate ingredients, they can kind of get into that and click on this what's in Olipop so they can really understand, you know, what's actually in the product. And then also if people want to shop in store so they can actually like visit the store and actually buy it in person, they're able to kind of go into where they sell it, like Walmart, Instacart, Whole Foods, Target, etc. And you can actually, you know, if you click this find in store button, you can actually enter your zip code and find a store near you that actually sells Olipop, which by the way, they're everywhere. Now, once they've directed traffic from ads to their landing page, they now need to make sure that these people actually stay and commit to making a purchase. Ads are super expensive right now. And so if you pay to bring someone to your site and they leave without buying, then you have to pay all over again just to bring them back. Or alternatively, you can capture their email and be able to reach them again whenever you want for almost nothing. That's why your pop-ups need to do their job. So this is what their pop-up looks like. So they basically have a get 15% off, which I think is a great offer. If you offer anywhere between 10 to 20% off on someone's first order, that's really, really compelling. So they're offering 15% off just for first-time customers. And so their copy here is enjoy 15% off your first order when you join our email list, plus unlock early access to new flavors and very delicious perks. A little bit of a play on branding here where they say very delicious perks. And then they have enter your email address and then count me in as a CTA. So I really like their CTA here where it says count me in, because most brands just say like sign up now or, you know, claim my offer. I like the fact that they're being a little bit more playful with it and they're going with like the FOMO principle where, you know, people want to be counted in. So they say count me in. I would say overall, this is a great pop-up because I like how colorful this is. It really just kind of stands out to the eye when it comes up. The only change I would make though is I feel like there's a little bit too much copy here at the below the to get 15% off. I found that the more copy that you have, the lower the conversion rate tends to be on the pop-up. And so if I were to make one tweak on this pop-up, I would make this get 15% off even bigger. Maybe just have one line of text or like no text at all in regards to like, you know, what you get when you join the list. And then everything else is really, really good here. Another thing I would consider is having like a full screen pop-up instead of just like a kind of like a third of a screen pop-up like this. Usually the full screen pop-ups tend to convert a little bit better. You know, after you opt in, it says you're in, use code welcome15 at checkout for 15% off your first order. From blackberry vanilla to raspberry sherbet, it's time to crack open a can with serious sip appeal, shop now. And then the shop now basically leads them back to the landing page. The only criticism I have with this pop-up right here is that they're offering a discount code as soon as you enter in your email. And I think that's a big no-no. That kind of goes against the best practices as far as email marketing goes. What I would recommend is actually only delivering the code within the welcome series that people get after they enter their email. Because now if you're giving them the code immediately after they enter their email in the sign up form, then there's no reason for them to go into their email inbox, open the email, click the email, and then convert from there. You're gonna see a much higher deliverability if you are getting people to actually engage, go to their inbox, open up the email that you just sent them, and then get the code from there. That's gonna help improve email deliverability in the long run, because people aren't opening and clicking your emails, then it just kind of sends a negative feedback loop to these major email service providers like Yahoo, Gmail, Hotmail, etc. That people, you're sending emails to people, but they're not actually opening or engaging with it. So again, what I would recommend is saving this discount code as part of the welcome series and not offering it at all once someone actually opts in on the sign up form, because again, you really want to protect your deliverability and get people to actually engage and open your emails over time. Now, if you want to see what a high converting pop-up or even multiple high converting pop-ups look like in practice, I put together a 130-page email marketing playbook where I have tons of examples of not just pop-ups, but flows, campaigns, and tons of other strategies that we actively use to scale brands to 40, 50, even up to 60% of their revenue coming from email, all broken down in this document. You can go ahead and grab that in the link in the description down below. Once Olipop captures that address, they have a direct line to the customer now, one that they can use over and over and over again without having to spend another penny on ads. And that's where email comes in. So with Olipop's email strategy, we want to look at like how many times they're actually sending per week, and the average sends per week for them is 1.4 campaigns per week. And so they're definitely leveraging quality over quantity approach, because a brand can send 3, 4, 5 emails per week, but if they're actually not high quality emails where they're just always consistently selling, then it's just not going to provide as much value to the email list. But if you send fewer campaigns that are actually higher quality, it's going to result in a better experience for your customers and potential customers, and just overall better revenue and deliverability in the long run. And they send more emails during specific holiday periods. So for example, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, daily emails in late November. They're sending emails about their new flavor launches and retail partnership announcements. So these are all really, really important emails that they want to focus focus on. And so it makes sense for them to send more emails when they're, launching new flavors, launching new partnerships, and also obviously during a very, very sales heavy period like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, of course. Timing is that they mostly send on Monday to Thursday, and sometimes they do send on Friday as well. But typically we see that their emails are usually sent between 12 p.m. and 4 p.m. And January and February in terms of email sends are a little bit quieter, which is pretty normal after the holiday rush, because if you're sending a ton of emails during the holiday Q4 season, like in October, November, December, then you don't want to continue that momentum into January and February. You want to kind of let your list breathe a little bit. So it's normal across all brands to kind of lower their send volume in January and February, and then start picking back up in March. So the great part about Olipop's newsletters is that they teach the customer about the world of health. So in this example, they're actually talking about the differences between soluble and insoluble fiber. So it's very, very educational, especially because a lot of people actually drink Olipop to get, increase their dietary fiber intake. And so this email literally breaks down what the difference is between soluble and insoluble fiber, sort of also kind of ties it into the fiber that they actually use in their products as well. You can see in Olipop, we use soluble fiber from ingredients like chicory root, cassava root, and Jerusalem artichoke for 6 to 9 grams of fiber per can. And then they have multiple CTAs within this email to kind of learn more, and also shop now as well. And the biggest thing too is that they use bright design, quick definitions, and a friendly tone to make the science feel accessible, right? They don't really overwhelm you with the science. They make it so that anyone can really understand, what they're trying to convey within the email. And again, the learn more CTA right here shows their commitment to educate first and sell later. So they're not trying to sell within this email. They're trying to educate and get you to learn more, get you to just basically learn more about their product. And if you go down, they say that you can stock up and you can shop now right here. Another thing they focus on is brand and product education. So as you can see right here, they have a plain text email from the founders. And Olipop's educational emails blend transparency with personality. They explain what makes their sodas different, from ingredients to health benefits, in a way that feels like a conversation rather than just like a science experiment. And so these emails reinforce why Olipop exists. They help justify the price, they strengthen the product understanding, and they move customers from curious to confident. You can see in this example right here, they say, "Hi, before Olipop, combining healthy and soda in the same sentence was almost unimaginable. Ben Goodwin, Olipop CEO, co-founder plus formulator, knew that there had to be a way to quench your soda craving without a health compromise. Ben sat down with Guy Raz, host of the highly acclaimed How I Built This podcast, to share his story. We're so proud and filled with gratitude to all of you who have helped us get us here, so thank you." And then basically a CTA to listen to the podcast there. So again, very, very educational style email where they kind of are very transparent with everything that they're doing and sharing a little bit more about the story and who's kind of behind the scenes with the brand as well. So another cool thing that Olipop does is their seasonal emails. And as you can see right here, Olipop's emails are super playful, super timely, just like the St. Patrick's Day email. That's basically their spin on the lemon lime flavor. And so this design leans all the way into the theme without losing clarity on the product focus. You can see they have the 4-leaf clovers. They have this font right here that's more like St. Patrick's Day style font, and then they have copy that's super playful as well, because you can't be pinched if you're drinking green, right? So with the unbelievable fresh taste, lemon lime is the ultimate chill soda made to quench even the biggest thirst. Plus, who doesn't like color coordinating with the season? And they have a shop now button as well. And so these seasonal emails, really just keep things interesting, because then all the emails are just gonna look the same over and over and over again. You really wanna play into the theme. So like for St. Patrick's Day, the theme would be all green, right? For Valentine's Day, maybe we'll do like an all red, style email. It really gives people reason to pay attention and a reason to buy, even if they already know the product as well. The other thing that you'll notice too is that they have a dual CTA right here. So one CTA that says shop now here, and then one CTA that says find lemon lime here. So the shop now directs users to the online store, and then find lemon lime helps users find the product at retail locations. So because Olipop sells in multiple retail and grocery stores, they want to allow the opportunity for people to actually find them in person, but then they also obviously have the opportunity to buy online as well. So overall, this is a really, really solid email. It's really on brand with St. Patrick's Day, and it's just a very, very fun and playful email, and that's exactly what a lot of brands need to be doing in order to stand out in the inbox. So another cool thing that Olipop does is their promotions and their retail partnerships. And so you can see right here, this holiday promo email literally does everything right. You can see they have a bold discount right here. They have festive visuals right here with the different Christmas lights and the coloring. And also they kind of mentioned their subscribe and save program and like get into detail with how much they can save if someone subscribes. Overall, very, very high energy, but also not overwhelming, which is not exactly what you don't want. And emails like this are perfect for bottom of funnel nudges. So if someone is literally, on the fence, maybe they've engaged so many times with your emails, or maybe they've added to cart or started to check out multiple times, but they haven't converted yet, those people will be considered bottom of funnel. And emails like this, like I said, are very, very good for that because they drive action fast, they highlight value, and they remind customers that Olipop is worth locking in. The other thing that Olipop does really, really well is giveaways instead of just pure discounts. And so you can see some of the emails right here. You can see that summer at full flavor giveaway. We're cracking up the summer fun with the daily spin that could land you exclusive merch, juicy discounts, and more. From now through July 18th, you've got one chance and every day to win. And then this email says win free Olipop, join our flavor face-off bracket challenge to help crown this year's top pop and enter for a chance to win free Olipop for a year. And then don't miss your shot. The flavor face-off ends today at 2:59 p.m. EST. This is your final shot to fill out your bracket, enter to win a free 1-year supply of Olipop and score 20% off your next order just for playing. And so these giveaway emails are so great because number one, it protects margin. So a limited number of winners costs far less than giving up 20% on every single sale. It builds your list and engagement. So it gets everyone to play, and the referral mechanic means it spreads organically, which is awesome. Another big thing too is that it creates hype because people get way more excited about the potential of winning something rather than just getting 20% off. And so if you're giving the opportunity for someone to win something for free, because again, who doesn't like free stuff? They're just going to be a lot more stoked that way. And then lastly, it strengthens the brand. So giveaways just feel premium and fun. Discounts just feel a little bit desperate. There's nothing wrong with doing discounts from time to time, but I think Olipop has nailed it right where they're doing a kind of a combination of both discounts and they're doing giveaways on a regular basis. And that's really, really strengthening the brand in many, many ways. Now, I want you to take what you've learned from this video and go ahead and apply it to your own brand, because the brands that are actually winning in 2026 understand and are actively using email marketing as their core revenue channel rather than what most brands are doing where they're just relying heavily on ads. So if you want to know exactly what's holding your email setup back, there's a link in the description down below to book in a free strategy call with me. I'll personally take a look at your Klaviyo account and tell you exactly what needs to be fixed, just like we've done so for 150 plus e-commerce brands. The link is down below. That's it for today, and I'll see you in the next one.